It's raining here in Tennessee, and we are just back from the 5th stop of the Bassmaster Elite Series 2023. Bit of a rough finish at Lay Lake, but I'm having the greatest year that I have had in my entire career here in the US. We're sitting in the top 10 in AOY. It's been an unbelievable year. 4 out of 5 checks. We only just missed check range there at Lay, so it wasn't a bomb, still a solid finish. Just put the Falcon away, and we are going to do a full Falcon boat overview right now. I mean, we're going to try and not miss a single thing, from how fast this boat goes, from how well it runs in rough water, the engine, RPMs, prop, pitch, jack plate, TH, all the little things that I get done, because we're halfway through the year. I'm telling you, not one single issue with this boat. It is bulletproof. Hennessy Outdoors down here in Dayton, they've rigged it start to finish, triple mounts, Humminbirds, Minn Kota, all the wiring system. We're gonna start to run through and show you all those little intricate details that makes me be able to compete at the highest level and not have a single issue with my boat anymore. So let's go.
And only Australian to ever win.
Got him, giant.
I'll show you how great I am.
Got him. Got him. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Dude. All right, so this is the Falcon F20 Predator. It sits at the top tier of the Falcon family. It is the premium tournament custom built boat. The reason I went to Falcon was several years ago, I had an opportunity to look for the ultimate bass boat that I wanted to be in. This is my career, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I wanted a boat that was fast, but was good in rough water. That was like my number one. I wanted a rough water running boat without sacrificing the speed. And I actually got to ride in Brandon Coulter's boat on Watts Bar on one of the roughest days that you could get. And it didn't take 1 minute of running across that lake, and I knew the Predator's the boat I want to be in. It has a sleek look to it, and it's got a fast look to it, but it is also super designed for that rough water situation. I can't tell you how good it is in almost every situation. My marshals, my co-anglers, whoever I've got, when we stop, they say this boat is unbelievable. When it comes to the cockpit, it's got a newly designed custom cockpit that I absolutely love. Customized seats, super comfortable, they look good, and then right in behind the console, the way they've designed it is it's going to hold big grass is what we're using these days. I've got 2 Apex 13s at the console, and they just sit perfectly. I can see over the top. There's zero impediment of my vision when I'm running, and I just love everything about the cockpit. It's comfortable, it's sleek, I get in behind it and I can run hard, and there's zero impediment on my visions. Some of the features that I love about the F20 Predator, you got 20'2" in length, but you got a 99-inch beam. This boat looks big, feels big when you're inside it. It has a huge deck, but it doesn't feel like that when you're fishing on the water. This boat is very maneuverable. It floats in inches of water, gets into those backwaters, and doesn't act like a big boat when you're actually fishing, and that's what I absolutely love about it. It handles a 50-gallon fuel capacity, which is absolutely perfect for running hard in tournaments. It's 25'11" length on the trailer total when towing, and then in your garage, if you get home and you want to trim that engine down, you get down to just over 23 feet. So one of the most innovative sections of the boat is the front deck and the locker system, and this is what I call a vertical rod locker. And so instead of tipping your rods out every single time, both sides are going to lift vertical. Your rods are going to lift up with them and go down with those rods. And this makes it super unique for when I'm loading rods from outside of the boat, taking rods in and out, and from inside of the boat. It's the easiest access and stops all of those hassles of trying to tip your rods out when you want to get another rod out when you've got rods on the deck. This rod locker is huge. I can fit up to 30 rods in there. Sometimes I need that depending where we're at. I can load this out. I can carry them with me when we're on the road for months at a time. I can really load it up, put my rods in all of their rod gloves and have them protected and ready to roll. I actually take out the rod tubes at the front, as you can see, and that's a custom request that you can ask from Falcon. And so instead of having your tube in there, it's fully open, so all those rod tips and everything just go up into the hull, and I can basically put as many rods in there as I like. So when it comes to tackle storage, you are not going to be short when it comes to how many boxes you want to carry. The middle section here, I have 17 of the Bass Mafia boxes, and then I have 4 on the side and 2 of the big ones, so I could actually carry another 8. I think about 27 total. And then one of the brand new features is a sliding tackle storage here that I can slide forward. It has dividers in it. I carry another box in there, but it's great for carrying other lures, scents, pliers, whatever you like. You've got another tool holder up the front here for spare tools, and you've got 2 holders which I love to carry scent in. On the left side here, you have a split locker section, and this is brand new, which is like your day box in the top. And that's the thing I love about Falcon is we asked and they delivered. We said we need a day box when we're tournament fishing, so I can have my X zones, some leader material, my Sunline leader, hooks, and that's removable, so I can take it out, put everything away and reorganize it. And then under here I keep a lot of my Bass Mafia bags, so there's 4 or 5 big full Bass Mafia bags under there. I shut that, and then I have the other vertical locker, and that's where I keep all my Bass Mafia bags under there as well. Keep a couple my spare Mustang life jackets. Tons of storage, you'll never go out. On the front end, you have a full foam padded front deck, and this makes it so nice for fishing and standing all day. You can see it's a nice thick raised foam deck, nice and spongy under the feet. It helps with your back and standing and competing and fishing all day. And as you can see, I have tons of room. When I've got 6, 7 rods each side, I still have tons of room when I'm standing on the Minn Kota and competing. So the center storage box is super cool. It has the easy fast latch handle, but this keeps everything pretty much waterproof for me. It's nice, easy access. Put your car keys in there. I keep about everything in there, my Hobie sunglasses, Rapala digital scale, my wave away cleaner for all my screens. I've got all of my mapping cards, you name it, sunscreen, batteries, GoPros, all of my stuff, my wallet, it's going in there. I shut that lid. I know it's going to be protected from the weather, and it's nice and easy access from both the passenger and the driver's seat. So the console and cockpit is one of my favorite parts of the Falcon. There's plenty of room, it's sleek, I've got tons of vision over the top. Everything is right here and accessible. My jack plate trim, my actual trim, a nice comfortable steering wheel, my Scosche Magic mount, the Raptor remote, all within touchscreen, and then right down here we have the full rocker switch panel with everything from all of my lights, aerator, recirc, autofill, bilge pump, accessories. We have 2 power, a USB and cigarette lighter power here for charging options, and then we've got a full Clarion speaker system for when you're out there just fun fishing, you want to listen to some music or a podcast. Everything is at the helm, ready to go. So the rocker switches and touchscreen, a lot of people go back and forward with that, but I think the reason we're staying with the rocker switch system is just reliability. Very reliable, nothing ever goes wrong with them. You can tell when they're on and off, and if something does, they're easy replaceable. You can check, you can take them off, check the back of them, put a new one on, and it's ready to go. So I still love the rocker system. It's easy and it's simple, and it's right there as reliable as it gets. I move into the back of the boat, it's just as impressive as the front. Straight up here, we have split live well system, which I really like. I got it empty, still got water in it from Lay Lake. I can have, you know, my big side and small side. My fish, if you ever see when I go to weigh them in, the scales never settle because they're so lively that they're just ready to go. They almost like they get better in the live well. It's full of oxygen, it's cooled. I don't know what it is about a Falcon live well, but I do not have any type of fish care issues ever. Straight behind the cockpit, we have a beautiful big hatch, which I keep spare Mustang life jacket, spare jacket, fire extinguisher, spare Minn Kota prop, charge cords, balance beams. I mean, it's kind of my bit of all-round, I keep a bit of everything. My hat's in there, and then we have the same size storage on the opposite side, right here, and it's fully loaded with more Bass Mafia boxes. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I could put one down the side. So it carries 13 Bass Mafia boxes in there. On the back, this is how wide this beam is. I have the full super stick push pole, and I just love how it's clicked down in there and just easy access, ready to go. Fits in the width of the boat. When we get to the back here, you talk to any service crew, you talk to anyone, Hennessy Outdoors, anyone that has to deal with rigging a boat, fixing stuff, they're going to tell you Falcon has the best back end of any bass boat. Let's check this out. So it has a 3-part system. Both sides fold up, and then you can fold it away, and it's going to sit up like that and get right out of your way when you want to work on the back of the boat. This is so clean and so much storage for all the things that we want to put in these bass boats. We have literally 5 X2 batteries, Raptor pumps, 5 bank Minn Kota precision charger, a spare prop, all of my power gauges, cutoff systems, and still room to move, still room to work on things. This is the greatest back end of any bass boat that I've ever seen. All right, let's move to the powerhouse, the 4.2 litre V6 VMAX SHO Yamaha 250 horsepower. This thing is everything when it comes to a tournament engine. Performance, power, efficiency, you name it, this engine does it. There's nothing that even comes close. So one of the most impressive and most important new features of the new SHO this year is it's delivering 40% more charging power when it comes to the alternator, up to 70 gross amps it's going to deliver to my charging system. So now that we're running 5 13-inch color screens, pumps all day, Raptor pumps, all of the LED lighting, GoPros, you name it, we're relying so hard on our power system that now the alternator is just almost doubling its power into those batteries. So at night when I'm plugging in, my 2 X2 AGMs are almost fully charged, ready to go. So the AGMs are almost fully charged just from the brand new alternator, putting those big amps into the battery while I'm running. A few of the new features for the 2023 model is the aggressive new cowling design, which I absolutely love. It looks so badass on the back of this Falcon. It's added to its lightning fast hull shot. It's got one of the fastest responses when it comes to power delivery and a blistering top end speed. It is literally everything that you want in a tournament engine. And when it comes to fuel efficiency, for me running all over the lake, it has the brand new digital screen which allows me to see the fuel economy, how much I've used, down to the exact litre, and I'm able to run like it lay from one end to the other during the actual tournament and still have plenty of fuel left over with the 50-gallon fuel tank. I like to run a minimum of 89 octane when it comes to your unleaded. That's what they recommend. The best way that I explain the Yamaha SHO is it brought 4-stroke efficiency, reliability, all of the things that you love. It brought it to the 2-stroke world. It brought a different model to tournament fishing because it has the quietness, which I love, but it still sounds good at idle speed. But it's quiet for getting in those backwaters and not lighting up an entire bay. You've got that quietness. Then you've got that power response when you put your foot down. The hull shot's unbelievable. You've got all of these things that you want in a tournament engine, but number one, above all, is reliability. I need to make sure that I'm going to get back with my fish every single day. That's how I make a living. This is what I do. If your engine lets you down, you pretty much cannot compete. And in the past, over my career, with engines that weren't a Yamaha, I would actually purposely leave early in case something happened. You can't do that. You need to fish to the very last cast, and that's what I do with the Yamaha. The last since basically 2015, and especially since 2019, I know when I turn the key, I'm getting back to weigh in, and that's such a good feeling. And over a long career of bass guys, it's hard to ever have that feeling, to know when you turn that key and you're running hard at over 70 miles per hour, trying to get your fish back and trying to compete, you know this engine's going to get you back. So when it comes to props, get tons of questions about that. I carry 2 all year long. I carry a spare in the boat because you never know what's going to happen. But on the back of my Falcon, this is the Yamaha series of SHO VMAX props. They're super reliable, they're fast, they're everything that you want. I run the T2 24 pitch. That's what I run all the time. It gets me up closer to that 6,000 RPM. This engine likes to run hard at that top end speed. And then, and it's great in rougher water, gets me out of the hull when I'm fishing in Florida. The 24 just jumps me up. And then for my spare, I have the 25. And this is what I'm gonna run when I get up to the Great Lakes and I have big, long, open runs. It's gonna just give me that little bit more speed at that top end and a little bit more efficient because it's gonna give me some lower RPMs. So this is the digital Yamaha screen that I absolutely love on the console, as it gives me all of, it's called the command link. It gives me all of my stats on how the engine's running, what's going on. So at Lay, in 2 of the tournament days, I ran I did 59 gallons. I can go in here and I can show the trip, 3.5 hours of running. I've got 89 hours on this engine already. It's got my fuel economy. I can reset that and start from scratch again. And I've got all of my information. As you've seen, it actually gave me a maintenance reminder as well, telling me, you know, that I need to get a service and what hours. So this is a really cool gauge that you can get with the Yamaha SHO. So when it comes to rigging out the boat with products, boating products, whatever you need, TH Marine's literally known, transom to trolling motor, everything that you need from front to back. One of the most important and most reliable products is the Atlas jack plate. I run a 10-inch Atlas jack plate. It's hydraulic, it's automatic, it's powerful, it's reliable. I believe it's the best jack plate on the market by far. The 10-inch one suits the Yamaha Show and this Falcon Predator perfectly on the back of the boat, and it's been on every single bass boat that I've ever owned out of my career, and it has never ever let me down a single time. You've got the hot foot up underneath the console. Again, this is the best hot foot power delivery that you can get. G-force trolling motor handle on the Minn Kota, the Eliminator prop nut, blue water LEDs throughout the entire boat, conservation cull system for culling my bass, full battery trays for the back end of the boat. all of the Tackle Titan lure holders when it comes to holding lures in the boat, underneath the console, you name it, they have a product for you when it comes to that. Wave Away screen cleaner is the most used product in my entire boat. The Cool Foot padding on my Minn Kota, and then the last but not least, and I think one of the most important, is the troll tamer underneath my Minn Kota. This thing has saved thousands of trolling motors over its life. It clicks in there, it keeps it solid, it keeps it stable, and I believe it's a must-have for every single boat. So this is the Eliminator prop nut. The thing I like about this is you don't need a tool to get it off. You can hold that prop. I can just roll that off, comes off. I can swap props, which happens. You can hit a bit of rip-rap, break a blade, and then I can easily just get it on there and hand tighten it, and I'm back ready to go. And in a tournament, time's everything. That's a saver. All right, we're gonna talk about the most important part of my entire boat, and that is the lifeblood of my boat, my batteries. Without these, nothing works on the entire boat. Your batteries are the most important investment that you're gonna make when it comes to a bass boat. I've been with X2 batteries for 3 years now, and I actually bought my first X2 purely from recommendations from hundreds of anglers. When I put a post out there and I spoke about it, so many people told me about this AGM and that it was their favorite cranking battery for running their electronics and powering their engine. This was the battery, and once I used it 1 year, I knew it was the best battery out there. Zero trouble. And then for the last year and all of this year, X2 came out with their brand new lithium range. So now when it comes to a power hub, I have the two X2s here. They are in parallel. I have a switch, so I can switch them to just run off one or the other, but I generally keep them in parallel so they drain and charge together. So the two AGMs, and then I have 3 of the brand new 100 amp lithiums for my troller motor, and they are just unbelievable. Power all day. I stomp on that troller motor looking for bedding fish at Seminole, at Murray. I mean, daylight till dark. I haven't been able to run them out yet at all. And then with the 2 AGMs, with the new alternator, running 5 Apex 13s, pumps all day, I still have tons of power. I'm never ever worrying about it. I don't need to put my graphs into standby mode. I can leave everything on all day and I have just more power than you can ever imagine. They are charged by the brand new Precision 5-bank charger from Minn Kota. And the cool part about this is these 3 right here are set to lithium, and they're putting 10 amps each in each lithium. And then these 2 are set to AGM, and they're going to both of these, and they're putting 10 amps, so a total of 20 amps into my 2 X2s. And so far at lay, I've had the longest days, sort of 5 a.m. starts and 8 p.m. finishes, and fueling up and getting in. By the time you get back to the camper, you're putting them on charge about 9 o'clock at night, and then getting up at 4:35, all green lights on the charger, fully charged, ready to take on the day. So I've fully rigged my boat out with Scosh gear. They have the Magic Mount phone system, which I believe is the best phone system that you can get. It's solid, it sits there, I can check weather, I can check my apps, I can post, you name it, it's right there, ready to go. And then they have the lightning chargers, so they have the best charge cords on the market, the fastest. I just plug that in and that keeps my phone charged all day long. I've mounted a separate waterproof USB, and that way I have my iPhone charger in one, and then I have the USB-C in the other, which connects to my GoPro. And these deliver the maximum amount of power to both your GoPro and your phone for fast and efficient power, and that will keep your GoPro. This lightning charger from Scosh is the only one that keeps my GoPro running all day, every day. So Scotia have a ton of really cool products. The Magic Mount system is in my truck, in my camper, it's on a bike, and it's in my boat. I absolutely love that system. It's super easy. They do some amazing portable jump pack system. This is the Power Up 700. I keep this in the boat. Back before I had X2 batteries, I used this a bunch. What I use it for now is giving to guys that have a flat battery. I keep this in my boat, and when someone has trouble on or off the water, plug that in and you can jump your boat, you can jump your truck, you name it. This has saved so many people, and it's just a little bit of reassurance to have in your boat. I recommend every single person should have this in their truck and in their boat. It will save you one day, I can promise you. And then one of my favorite products, and one of a lot of guys' favorite products on the Elite series that buy them, are the Elite bars. Let's check them out here. So right here, these are called an Elite magnetic bar, and I keep them here because I can put scissors on there. I can put my my split ring scissors, and then they hold all of my hooks. I put them anywhere. They magnet your hooks there, and they've got a rubber coating so nothing rusts. That's what I really like about them, and these really hold. They're actually not going anywhere. You can put baits, lures, you name it, and some guys put them all over their boats for all their spare hooks. It's called an Elite bar. I use them in the shop for my tools. Your phone will stick to it. Very cool product from Scotia that is a must-have in any bass boat. All right, so that's everything in the shop, and now we're going to put the boat on the water, and we're going to show you hull shot, we're going to show you top end speed, firing up all my birds, working the Raptors, where I have some of the foot stomp switches. We're going to show you a couple of power cutoff switches, and just everything, how this bad boy rides on the water. Let's go. All right, we're going to show you Hennessy Outdoors here a little bit later, who rigged this entire boat. But straight up in the morning, I actually have 3 different cutoff switches. So right here, they have put your big main one, and so if that's going to be off all the time, that is going to cut absolutely every piece of power to the boat. Nothing can get to these batteries once I cut this isolator switch off. So I turn that on. Now we've got this one here, which is an isolator switch for these 2 batteries. So if I want to film when I'm using my Mega Live or 360, I can actually turn this off, and when it's off, the electronics are all just to one battery. There's 0 electronic interference to this battery. So it will give me the most ultimate clear picture. But most of the time, I'm going to turn that on, and now both of those batteries are in parallel and draining together, and that just gives me like maximum amount of power from my X2 31 AGMs. Shut that, and we have another isolator switch right here from Hennessy, and this one is only electronic. So if I want to cut all power to my hummingbirds, bang, turn that one off, and then I turn that on, and now I'm going to fire up all the birds. All right, so first up, we're going to show you the hull shot of the Predator 20. So TH Atlas jack plate. If I want to get the ultimate hull shot, I'm going to jack it all the way up to 20, as high as it can go. That's going to give you, like, if I'm in a backwater of Florida where you're silted in, or just I've got a little gap to jump up in a little deep water, I'm going to bring it up to 20, and then the second I'm on pad, I'm going to drop that jack plate down to like 16, 17. So the Falcon actually likes the jack plate up pretty high, and it runs the trim high too. So we want it trimmed all the way down, we want the jack plate all the way up, and let's show you what the hull shot's like. That's pretty hard to beat to me. There's not many places where that won't get you up and out of the hull and going. Any backwater, any place for a 20-foot big boat, that's as good as it gets to me. I'm up and I'm out of there and climbing in speed. So jack it up to 20, and then drop it back down to 16, 17 when I'm fully going, and that's usually the sweet spot for the Falcon. Let's check the top end speed. So this is my console setup, 2 Humminbird Apex 13s. I mean, Hennessy has rigged this so I have 0 interference. We've got side imaging. I can run out to 100. Humminbird by far has the best side imaging. DI, same thing. Just an unbelievable clear picture. This is only in 8 foot of water. And then I've got straight 2D through hull right here. Beautiful, fast, crystal picture. And then lake master mapping. And so we're about to jump on pad. What I can do is when I do that, often I'll have full map of lake master. And then if you want to read the bottom, I can have full 2D over here. And then if we get on pad, when it's set up right and you get that transducer perfect, I can do 40, 50 miles an hour and get a perfect read of the bottom. That's how you want the bottom to read when you're up on pad. I can find ledges, brush piles, all sorts of things while I'm actually running. And it's just good for, you know, places that you haven't run before to actually see that real time, whether that bottom's gonna come up or not. So to me, when I'm running, that's the ultimate picture right there. One thing you're gonna notice at all times when my engine is running, I'm gonna have my life jacket on. And so around my throttle, this is where I keep my Mustang Elite jacket. It's clipped on and I put it over my throttle. It never leaves there because that way it's always a reminder. I go down, if I've got the engine turned on, I see that jacket, I know I've got to put it on, and the kill switch is always on, ready to go. So I just unclip it, put that Elite jacket on, fire it up, and I'm ready to go. So it never, ever, I'm running this boat without my Elite Mustang jacket on. If you're a parent out there and you've got high school, college kids running around, get on them and make sure they're putting this auto-inflatable jacket on them at all times when they're running their boat. All right, we're gonna check on the top speed. So I've got tournament load tackle, rods and reels. This is, you know, 3 mount, 13-inch Apex up the front, 2 on the back, 112 Minn Kota, Ultrex on the front, 360 live, full tank of fuel. We've got Scoot in the boat, who's 200 pounds of muscle. What else we got? We've got water in the live well, just pumping a little bit out now, so we've got about half full. So we're just gonna give you about a pretty solid tournament load with the Marshall in the boat, and we'll see what speed we can get. So jack plate at 17, 24 pitch Yamaha prop. That is kind of beat up because we are halfway through the year, so we have to give it that. If I send it in and get the prop cupped, I think I can get that extra 2 miles an hour because at the start of the year, I was getting, you know, that 70, 71. So right now, a ridiculous amount of tackle, full load of rods, live well, full tank of fuel, Scott, all of his camera gear, me, 20-foot Predator, the Yamaha show, we got 68.4 and doing 6,000 RPMs depending on how I had it trimmed. But like with the Falcon, at jack plate at 17, I can have it almost fully trimmed up, but you want to just back it down because you don't want to have a big rooster tail. You'll lose that energy. You just want to have just a small little rooster tail at the back. But when I do 68 to 70 these days, I know everyone raves about how fast their boat is. When I get to 68, 70 in an Elite Series event, I pass boats, and no one hardly passes you. They'll be the odd one, the guy that has a frog box in his boat. So I can get a lot more speed. I can take tackle out. I can shift tackle to the back. There's a lot of things that you can do to get a little bit more speed, but that is your realistic sort of view of a full loaded out boat as hard as you can. And the thing with the Falcon is 68 to 70 is fast, but when it gets rough, it's really fast because it stays at that speed comfortably and it chops through all of that heavy stuff, and you're not breaking your back and putting yourself in, you know, beating your body up basically. When I'm finished tournaments these days, I'm nowhere near as beat up as I used to be, and it's because of the soft ride of the Falcons. All right, we're on the front deck. I'm going to show you. I cannot tell you how much I love my front deck setup on this Falcon, my electronics. I have 3 Apex 13s. Top one fully set up for Mega Live. Mega Live is just looking unbelievable. We're up against this bluff wall. We get the odd bit of interference coming through from 360, but it's very minimal if I move away. I've got 0 interference on 360. We've got big laydowns, we've got rock ledges. I mean, half moon 360, you can't beat that. And then I've got full Lake Master mapping and then 2D on my left. And so when I'm up and I'm on my troller motor and I'm looking down at that, I've never seen a better setup for competing professionally, for everything that I want to do. This is the ultimate, and everything is just looking so clean. I can see my glide bait coming back. I can see, there's my glide bait right there. It's twitch, you'll see it, I'll get it better. There's a fish coming to look at it. It's a crappie, I think. That's a school of crappie underneath it. That's the glide bait sinking into them. They're all checking it out. So, pretty incredible technology. This is the best electronic setup that I've ever had. 112-pound Ultrex up the front. And then I have the Mega Live target lock, which I'll put on for the northern swing. I took it off for the shallow water Florida events. And then beside to the left, I have the Raptor stomp switches. So two hits down, and the Raptors are going to go down, and then 1 hit up. All right, guys, when it comes to live wells and live well maintenance, live well additives, TH pretty much has you covered for everything, but you know, a live well is not just a live well. There's certain things that I do. The very first one is the V2 ventilation system right here. It's from TH Marine. That's one of the first things that I add. Basically, it oxygenates the water. It pushes oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. Your live wells won't get that foam build up in there. It'll cool the water, it'll allow it to breathe. I'm telling you, when you put these in, you cannot catch your fish out of the live well. They are hard to catch. The next thing that I do for maintenance, you know, just to look after the fish, is the TH Marine Conservation Cull system. I number them 1 through 5, have them on the little bar ready to go. These are non-penetrating clip, and so the bass let go how I caught them, and every time. I absolutely love these. I use my Rapala scale to weigh them, and then I only balance beam if one is close on that scale. And then the final thing is I cut these, you know, you've seen a lot of guys doing it now, just the pool noodle. I cut them in half, and all of these will just sit up against that and add some cushioning when you've got, you know, the V2 system and you've got your live well. It's just going to add some padding. I just run them all year round now, and it just makes a nice little spa bath in there. And the only thing I'll add is some G-juice. When I have any sort of, when the conditions get tough, I'll add a little bit of G-juice in there, and it'll just look after those fish. But I shut that lid. Pump wise, over here you have 3 options, and I'm going to go auto aerator on manual, recirc on full, and auto fill. I'm going to turn this to auto here, So empty, and I'm going to turn to auto, and I'm going to run them flat out the entire time and just let that water constantly recirculate and oxygenate, and my fish are always healthy and I have very few fish care penalties. All right, so this is where all the magic happens. This is the greatest find and one of the biggest advantages I have as a bass angler is finding this place right here. It's called Hennessy Outdoors here in Dayton, Tennessee, 25 minutes from my home. And they are the ones that literally customize this boat from front to back. It is custom. Straight up, the first thing is their wiring harness. They use all of their own wiring. I mean, it's all of their wiring has Hennessy Outdoors Electronics premium marine grade wire. We've got 6 gauge that runs all the way to the console for my 3 Apex 13s, so it's delivering maximum amount of power, and then 10 gauge to the console for my 2 Apex 13s. We've got a 6-panel fuse box, which is just so convenient because if something happens, I can pop it off, they'll name them here, I can check a fuse, put it back, and then this is, you know, the main switch that you saw beside the console. I can cut all power to all of my electronics, 80 amp fuse here, to just, if something happened, it would cut it to everything for safety for your boat, and then you got your fuses in here that'll run off your 10 gauge as well. So this is the wiring harness. You can just order this and get it for your boat, for whatever. You can call them up and say, hey, this is what I'm running, and they'll hand build you this harness. So the other thing that the boys do, it's called Ultimat, and this is 100% PE. You know, this is polyethylene. This is the highest grade PE mat that you can get, and I mean, this is 6 months in, and this is a light gray, and it looks brand new still. It cleans so easy. They customized everything, etched the Falcon Skosh Mustang in it. We got Firma Heart one on the front. Every corner has something for me or for a sponsor. You can't beat Heart. I got my signature edition up the front. We put it in all of the lockers. Like, how cool is this? Like Miller rods, full Miller rods mat down on the bottom with blue water LED lighting, literally customized into the mat. So full custom brackets, again, whatever suits your boat, whatever boat you have. So for me, this was the very first time that I'd put 3 Apex 13. So they custom built me this bracket. It's even got Firma Heart on it, and then how cool is this? My trim up and down button for my foot, because the mounts cover the trim button. They've got their own customized button for my motor, so when I'm getting in that shallow water, it's on the mount ready to go. These mounts are so strong and so sturdy. They're holding the massive weight of those 3 Apex 13s. And then on the console, this is as clean as it gets. 2 beautiful mounted Apex 13s, tons of clearance, 0 movement. That is as solid of a mount as you can get. It's got the to-do mount on it for my GoPro, charging up, ready to go, and best mounts in the game. Just so nice to be able to mount 5 Apex 13s and have them looking that clean. These boys just know what they're doing. And then at the back of the boat, must have for any tournament angler. I can't tell you how annoying it is to put your anchor light in and out every single day, getting your co-angler to do it, or forgetting to do it and hooking a fish and then it getting in the way. This is the Hennessy Outdoors bracket with an LED anchor light on it, and so it gets mounted straight to your Raptors or whatever you need. And then what we did over here is we put another mount, and we mounted the blue water LED spotlight on there, and it's built for a spotlight for the front of the boat, but I use it as a work light. It's straight down on my boat. early mornings, late nights, I turn that light on and it literally lights up my whole boat and I'm able to work into the night. So there is so many little things like this, like the mats customized at the back here with Falcon Yamaha. I mean, they've customized everything. They customized the prop holder in the back, and really they made this back end look clean like that. Everything just works. So Hennessy Outdoors here in Dayton, Tennessee, if you want someone to rig your boat, you know, from front to back and have it run flawlessly, these are the guys to see. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you got something out of that. We tried to cover as much as we can. This is my 2023 Predator, Falcon Predator, the 250 Yamaha show. I mean, this is as custom rigged fit out as I've ever had. I've worked super hard over my career to keep, you know, trying to build the best bass boat possible to compete against the best guys in the world. You need everything these days, you know, to be in your advantage, help you get out there, not only just to compete against these guys, but to have a fun day on the water and put some bass in the boat. And I just think this is the best bass boat rig out there. I hope you think the same. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm having one of the best seasons of my career, and a lot of it has to do with this boat being bulletproof. Everything has been flawless, and we're sitting in the top 10 AOY. Had some of the best events, and now we're 2 weeks away from Sabine River. We're just on the halfway point of the season, and we've got to get through the Sabine River and then we're heading up north. So keep an eye out for the Sabine River edit coming up next. I'm hoping to have a great finish there and stay in contention for AOY is the #1 goal. Let's go.